Well, thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Can y'all hear me okay?
Sounds real good. Can hear those who you're with as well.
Yes, that's what I was concerned about. A lot of background noise there, but I'm leaving that environment so I can have more peaceful conversation here. I appreciate everything everybody's doing, and of course, always the hard work that people are doing. I want to address 3 issues tonight, briefly. The first issue tonight is about the state of Texas. The received a letter yesterday from those leaders in Texas, and they have decided that they are not going to abide by the laws that are passed by Congress. And they sent me a letter stating that. I shared this with Congress, and basically our decision is to allow them to do whatever they please. They're free people. We can't tell them what to do, what not to do. However, they cannot be in union with us and not abide by the laws of the land. It's that simple. They said in their letter that their decision was final and they didn't want to talk about it, would not discuss it. So that's where we stand. The leadership of Texas, they have been removed from the Republic. They are no longer with the Republic, and it is a final decision, and the decision is not going to be reversed, and it is forever. However, there are many people in the state of Texas that I don't think understand what's going on here. Any of those that are not elected officials, if they have a desire to remain in the Republic, they need to let us know, and we'll show them what they need to do that, because we welcome them with open arms. But if you're an elected official in the state of Texas and you're listening to me tonight, you're no longer part of the Republic, and that is a permanent condition. It's not ever going to be reversed. So you will be placed on a list, and you will not be allowed to ever be part of this Republic again. And we have to take a hard stand on this, because this has been tearing this Republic apart. There may be other states that want to continue in that way as well. If you do, you will have the same determination. It's not our intention to lose anyone, but if you decide that you don't want to abide by the law of the land, you cannot be in union with this Republic. It's that simple. Congress makes the law, then we have to abide by it. And it doesn't matter what state you're in. All 50 states are required, as a part of the agreement to be in union, to abide by laws that are established by Congress. And that's our agreements. We are not allowed to breach those contracts.
Well, President Tim, it sounds like, if I can just drill down on this a little bit, it's quite right. Anyone, anywhere in the United States is free to do as they determine is right according to their conscience. Can you drill down a little more on how it is that we are re-inhabiting the Union, and how those who are coming into that Union, what that process looks like, and what it is that Texas has done to violate that process, or to just simply choose not to be part of that re-inhabiting process?
Well, that's exactly what they've done. It is a requirement to be a part of the Union. No state is required to be part of the Union. However, to remove yourself from the Union, you have to have 75% of the population of the state to remove yourself. Okay, Texas right now does not have that, and so they cannot remove the state from the Union. All they did is remove themselves. Now, as I said, the elected officials have been officially removed, and that is not going to be changed. It is done, and it may upset some of you, but it's your choice. You made that choice. I've exhausted every possible means to bring you into union with the Republic, and you have ignored every attempt, and you've shown yourself to be lawless, and we're not going to tolerate it in the Republic. So you decided you want to go your way, we're going to let you go. It's that simple. It's how it works. You've got the freedom to do as you please, but you cannot violate the law of the land and still be in union with this Republic. So the elected officials in Texas have been removed, and it is permanent. It's not going to be reversed. The people of Texas, however, we welcome them with open arms if they want to return to the Republic. But we need to hear from them or their names will be also pulled. And I'm sorry if it upsets some people. We've got to take a stand against this. We have a republic to build, and we can't let this problem continue to destroy this republic, and we're not going to. Okay.
Well, President Tim, I know you well enough to know that you stand on the law when you come to decisions. So can you help us understand the lawful background of what enables you to and Congress to come to that decision, to stand on it, and for it to be consistent with our history?
Absolutely.
And I mean not just the history of the inhabited republic, but the history of our nation.
In the history of our nation, we originally started out as colonies under the king. When the United States was taken by conquest after the Revolutionary War by the Founding Fathers, and all ties to the king, to the crown, or into any other power in the world were broken at that moment. The day that they accepted Cornwallis' sword, when Washington accepted that sword, that broke all ties to any other claim on this land. This belonged to the American people. We were considered sovereign people, and are to this day considered sovereign people. That means that you have the freedom to do any act that you want, as long as you don't be aggressive against your brothers and sisters. You can choose any type of government you want. You can do anything you want to. You can play in your own sandbox and do anything you want to do. All the states came together in 1791, and they established a constitution, and they established a constitutional government. At that time, the states were sovereign. They gave up their sovereignty to be part of the Union, and that is all that. Chisholm versus Georgia, if you have not read that case, you really need, if you want a good understanding, excuse me, of what went on. This was an eyewitness account by justices that helped build the original republic government. These guys were eyewitnesses. They were there. They helped do it. They knew what went on. And they're very clear and concise about how it was done. The states were sovereign. They agreed to give up certain elements of their sovereignty to become part of the Union. One of the things they couldn't do anymore was coin money. They did not have the authority. They gave that over to the federal government. And there are a few other things, but mostly the states didn't give up a whole lot, but they did give up some. So they're not absolutely sovereign states anymore. They also agreed that they would that their laws would abide by the laws of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence, and they would not do any actions or pass any laws that were repugnant to those law forms.
Okay.
But so all of the states had to agree that to be in union. They didn't have to be in union. They could choose it or not choose it. It was their choice. But that's what they chose, and that's what was established. And all of the states that we have today have all agreed, all 50 states have agreed to do that. So there is no absolutely sovereign state. The sovereignty was devolved to the people, not to the state. The state had its authority, and the national government had its authority simply because the people had sovereignty. And they were given that sovereignty by God. It was reaffirmed after the Revolutionary War when we took our land, and this nation was a nation of sovereigns without subjects. That's the way they said it. That's the way the Founding Fathers said it. Now, because of that sovereign status, you are free to do as you please as long as you don't hurt your neighbor. That's the reason that we had to do what we did, because Texas told us that they did not want to they were not going to abide by the laws that more than 42 states came together and passed and agreed to in Utah. They said, we're not going to abide by that. And it's very emphatic, they're not going to abide by it. I've tried to reason with them. I've given them many opportunities, but that was their final decision. I received it yesterday. So we're only doing what they ask us to do. We're only allowing them to walk away because that's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to abide by the law. So they breached the contract that the state of Texas had with the original union when they came into it. So they breached that contract. So we don't have any choice. I mean, you've got to abide by the law to be in this union. We are under rule of law, lawlessness. And so that's the reason that we have to do it. We don't have a choice.
Well, I know at one time Texas had not had the opportunity to read the Declaration of Sovereign Intent, and then I know a number of attempts were made to give the leadership an opportunity to read it. Have these leaders had the opportunity to read the Declaration of Sovereign Intent?
I was on a phone call last week for 2 hours probably with the former governor of Texas, James Wright, and the former Attorney General, Raymond. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But anyway, I was on Chaplain Raymond, they called him. Anyway, I was on the call probably about 2 hours within last week, and I gave them an opportunity to see the document. I told them we would make arrangements for them to view the document. And then yesterday I got their final decision is they're just not going to abide by it, what the Congress has done, and so that's their decision. That's what they said, and I do have that in print. I can document.
So now we have members of the Republic who are in Texas who desire and are on board with the Republic. What's that going to look like, or is that something that will unfold here in the weeks to come?
Under the laws of the Constitution, it is my job to appoint an interim governor for the state of Texas until they reorganize. We will have to find somebody to appoint to that job. If some of the former people that were involved were not elected officials want to come forward, I certainly want to talk with them. I want to hear from them, and so they need to contact us. And if they contact us, certainly we'll work with them to try to move forward. But the elected officials are gone, and they're not coming back, period. It's done. Congress does not want them. They have already shown that they are in open rebellion against the Republic, and we're not going to tolerate it.
Okay, and then about things like websites and that, is there, probably that's a question for somebody in tech support, but just how that's all going to work so that folks who want to stay on board the Republic get directed towards you and folks.
They need to, Rick, can you give them a contact, some way to contact us so we can find out how to, those that want to continue with the Republic, and I hope and pray they all do. But we can't work with your elected officials.
Yes, sir. It just like it's always been. It's RRB period admin ADMIN. So that would be rrb.admin ADMIN at Republic of the United States plural .org. I yield.
Okay. And if anybody that is currently involved in the group of Texas wants to come forward, if you are not an elected official, you can come forward and notify us that you want to remain in the Republic, and we will welcome you with open arms. But the elected officials will not be accepted. They've already shown that their aggression toward us, and we're not going to tolerate that anymore. It's over with for you, and that's not going to change. It's permanent.
Well, President Tim, if we can use that as a step forward, because clearly it's time to shake off the dead wood and sharpen our focus for the work you've got coming in the new year. Can we talk a little about what your need is from the states in terms of the audit, in terms of those pieces? Okay,
we have some things that we need to do, and I have got to prove that we have standing to do those things. And standing means I have the right, that we have the right to do that as a people, as a sovereign group of people in this nation. Now, the heat has been turned up recently on the sovereign movement. They're really demonizing us. Had a meeting down here with the chief of police just right next door to us here today, and they're ramping up the reports that we're all a bunch of terrorists and all this kind of stuff. We need to be able to document that I have 34 states minimum in union, and that the positions that were required, which I've already put out to everybody, are filled, and we need that an affidavit signed by the governor and the members, 2 members of Congress, one in the Senate, one in the House, And I don't know, did we put the chief with one of the justices on there as well, Rick?